Hello, this is Shanker once again, and this is my series in which I'm telling you my observations, what I've learned from various books. There's nothing which is, but I've applied them and I've found them to be very right. Why don't you try them out also? These are small predictive principles in astrology, and I'm sure you would like them. About me, you can go to my site Shanker Study, SHANKERSTUDY, shankerstudy.com, and see my work which I've done in terms of research and various books which are written to Sagar Publications and Prabhat Publications. So with this, without going much into anything else, today I want to talk about basically what happens. I've seen in a lot of horoscope where Mars is in sixth house, and the people are in the IS, IPS, and various other services. Though sixth house is considered to be a house of like military, and you do job. Sixth house is a job. That is what traditional astrology says. I'm talking about house, not about sign here. Sign is something very different, which will has an impact, but 25-30%. I'm talking about sixth house Mars. Whenever sixth house is in Mars, I've always seen Sun is as good as exalted. Sun becomes exalted, and that is why you'll see a lot of people having Mars in sixth house are in very good positions in the government or in administration. That is one. Okay. But Mars in sixth house spoils Ketu. It makes Ketu very weak in all aspects, because this is the house where Ketu is already debilitated, and Mars and Ketu being enemies, it makes Ketu still weaker. And Ketu is a very important planet for general happiness, and especially with the happiness of your sun. Ketu is a very important planet, so it will destroy the happiness of your sun's general happiness, sun's career progress in the long span. I mean, sun's life, and it also spoils general happiness. Have a look at it. You'll find results. I've seen it in the horoscope of quite a few people. Now, so Sun becomes Mars in sixth, makes Suns exalted, and Ketu kind of negative in terms of whatever. 11th house in Rahu is considered to be very good as usual in Vedic horoscope, but my thing is 11th house in Rahu spoils Jupiter. Once it spoils Jupiter, then issues of family, finance, children, luck, gain, even your expenses, sleep, pleasure of bed, religion, everything gets pulled down. So Rahu in 11th is not good. It creates issues in the aspects of Jupiter. It may give you some little bit of money, quick money sometimes, or and I've usually found people earning money through crooked ways. They're crooks basically. So Rahu in 11th is, don't take my literal word crooks. I mean, it's money which is earned by the Rahu method, out of the box thinking, if you want to put the right English for this would be that. And but it spoils things like, as I told you, the aspects of Jupiter. Jupiter looks into 2, 5, 9, 11 and 12 houses, so it creates a problem there. 11th Ketu is not bad, because 11th Ketu actually does not spoil Moon, and it impacts Moon, but it impacts Moon in a positive way. So 11th Ketu is good. In fact, it does good for the mother, and it's a good thing to have Ketu in 11th, though Rahu in 5th is not great, which we already covered in one of my videos. So this is my the kind of thing on which I've observed in these kinds of things. Moon and Mercury both are not very good in the 12th house. Moon in 12th house is generally not good. It gives negative results. Mercury in 12th house is nearly debilitated, gives debilitated results. So Moon and Mercury in 12th house are not good, unless and until they conjoined with a very powerful planet like Sun. Sun in 12th is very good. So let us see a combination of Sun, Moon and Mercury in 12th house. Sun and Moon is a very powerful combination. If only Sun and Moon is there, it's a super Rajyog, makes a person very rich. sun and moon together, people call it bad, but I've seen two luminaries together anywhere, and especially in the good houses like second house, fifth house, houses like that where Jupiter has its power, and enemies of sun and moon are there. Sun and moon is just par excellent together. There's nothing to be, Amavasya. Sun and moon together is very good. But here, Sun and Mercury, when they are together, they behave like Mars. They tend to behave like Mars. So, Sun and Mercury together are here. When you have Moon and Mercury, both are bad. But when Sun is there, then Sun and Mercury becomes Mars. Mars and Moon together is a very good thing to have. Mars controls Moon, and Mars is the only planet which controls Rahu. So, when Mars is like a planet which sits on the elephant is Rahu. Rahu is like elephant. So it gives anything which is huge, large, thing which has to be done in the world, this has to be through Rahu, or a person does this has to be Rahu. Rahu is the person is like an elephant, walks like an elephant, thinks like an elephant, and elephants are both very positive and very negative. In terms of their whole attitude to life. So here is the only planet which the person can sit on it and control it is Mars. So Mars in 12th house controls Rahu very well. And because 12th house, Rahu is related to 12th house, and Mars is the only planet which controls Rahu. When Rahu gets controlled, there's a relationship between Rahu and Mercury. Mercury gets all its positive and negative work done through Rahu. So like Rahu is the agent for Mercury. Mercury, anything which Mercury wants to do, and Mercury is one of the most mysterious, most dangerous planet, as well as the planet which gives you a lot also. So Mercury, people don't generally look at Mercury in the right way. Mercury is a planet which has to be looked in a very, 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 very deep way, because somebody calls it a eunuch, somebody calls 6 months is young, 6 months is old, it's a boy, and like a boy is very dangerous. It can give you, it can take you, it can hit you, it can do anything. So Mercury, in a way it has been explained in Vedic astrology also. In my experiences, Mercury is a very important planet in an horoscope, and Mercury does all its work through Rahu. That's why a lot of places you've seen Mercury is like Rahu. Mercury is small Rahu, they say, but it's not that. Mercury gets all its work done through Rahu, and when Sun and Mercury are together and Mars is formed, Rahu gets under control, and when Rahu is under control, it tends to do positive things which the elephant does. It becomes a king. He does huge things, large things out of the box. So that's very important. So Moon and Mercury together in 12th house, very bad. Moon is very bad, Mercury is very bad. But the way Sun comes in and controls, Sun and Mercury become, kind of a Mars. Mars and Moon together are very good. Sun and Moon together are very good. So Sun and Mercury are together are very good. The Sun becomes like Sun, Moon, Mercury together. They become a very powerful this thing which controls Mercury as well as it controls Rahu. In that way, I hope you have understood my point which I've said. I also read that when Moon is in the 12th house, the person in his previous birth, the 12th house is a very important role to play. And previous birth would have been a person who owns land, kind of a small kingdom, a small king, and had could spend a lot of money. Even in this Janma, you will see a Moon in 12th house will have high expenses. If not high expenses, he will keep on spending money on a very on a routine basis. A lot of money will be spent through a lot of money will go through his hand. So Moon in 12th has this kind of this thing. And when I have also talked about third Rahu. Third Rahu is good. It controls, it makes the planet, it makes the horoscope very strong. However, Jupiter in the 11th house is not very good, which I've explained to you earlier. Similarly, Rahu in the 11th house is also, Rahu spoils Jupiter, and Jupiter spoils a lot of other aspects, which is that when Jupiter is in itself is in the 11th house. So I feel Rahu and Jupiter both the 11th house don't do well for their own karaks, etc. But Ketu does well in the 11th house. Rahu does well in the 3rd house. Moon and Mercury are not good in the 12th house, as good as debilitated. Mercury behaves like a debilitated planet. Mercury is a very important planet. It is controlled by Rahu. Rahu is in turn controlled by Mars. Sun and Mercury together, they behave like Mars, and they're able to control Rahu. If Rahu is controlled, then a lot of things gets controlled. And if Mercury gets controlled, a lot of things gets controlled. Whenever Moon is 12th and Moon is alone in the 12th house, it damages Ketu, and Ketu is happiness and all about your child. The video has become big, so now I should stop. I've tried to explain certain principles, certain things which I've seen, which are from various things like combination of astrology, Vedic, your Lal Kitab, your the Brigunadi system. So with that, I've come to these kind of conclusions, which I keep on telling for the benefit of the people who view my channel. So thanks a lot for hearing me out. If you have heard it from end to beginning, thank you for hearing this 10 minutes video. Thanks a lot. Bye. This is Shanker signing out.